Hi, I'm Kevin, play in the band Gates. This is my rig that I'm going to show you guys. Let's start with guitar. This is my Gibson Les Paul double cutaway. It's TV yellow, and I bought it in 2007. I believe it was made in the same year. It was a faded edition, so I got it for pretty cheap. Basically, I thought it looked cool, and it was a lot cheaper than other Gibsons, so it ended up being a really good purchase because I think it's super cool now. I put all this wear into it myself. The back of the neck is all worn down from me playing, and I really like the way that looks, and I love this guitar. I own a few other ones, but this is definitely my favorite one. A few modifications I made to it. I put new tuning pegs on it. The old ones were just kind of crappy, so I got new ones. Made the headstock a little too heavy, but the compromise is worth it. I dropped it at a show and made this awesome modification during the process of breaking my volume knob, or my tone knob, so that currently needs to be replaced. But I also put, these are P90s, but they're stacked Seymour Duncans, technically humbuckers. So it just cut down on the buzz from the original P90 guitars. It sounds comparable, so overall, just love this guitar, love playing it. This is my amplifier. It's a 1965 Fender Bassman, and this is a 1969 Bandmaster cab that I've combined the two. I love this amp. It's super simple. There's volume, treble, bass, and a bright switch. I only use the normal channel. I have the bright switch up most nights, and I think it sounds best at a volume about 4. I really like the way it breaks up. It's not a super clean Fender amp. It's not super bright. It's pretty much the direct opposite of a Fender Twin, just kind of a dark, gritty amp. I like the way that it combines with my guitar, but I typically usually only play it at about a 2, because if I blast it at a 4, it's super loud. So, and I have the treble about a 6 and the bass at a 5. It's pretty simple. And then it's got the original Fender Oxford speakers in the cab. I thought about replacing them a few times, but right now it really sits well with the other two guitars. Kind of creates a good spectrum of frequencies. So I bought this ridiculously huge cab as opposed to the smaller one, just because I thought it looked cool. So that's pretty much it. So this is my pedal board, slightly larger than the other guys' pedal boards, and I definitely have pared it down from what I probably would have on a board if I could have everything I wanted, but I find I can get pretty cool combinations with what I have here. So I start with the classic Ernie Ball VP Junior volume pedal, nothing crazy about that. Then I have this Roland EV5 expression pedal that is currently hooked up to the RE20 Space Echo. I'll do a demo of that in a second. The Boss tuner, you know, pretty much everyone has one. They're very reliable. I've never had an issue with it. It'll explode at the next show now that I said that, but then I start with pitch effects. I start with those because I obviously don't want to be pitching reverb-soaked guitars. It's going to sound really messed up, which could be cool, but not for what we do. So Pog 2 is the newest pedal on this board. Love this pedal. The most obvious thing I've done on it for our recent material would be the beginning of low. I get kind of an organ sound for it, which I have built into a preset here. So pretty cool sound. It's got kind of an auto swell on it. You can do a whole bunch of stuff with this pedal. If you're not familiar with it, I definitely recommend checking it out if you're into interesting stuff like that. Has 8 banks. You know, there's another one where I've got kind of just a basic auto swell on it. It's got a filter so you can cut out the high end. Really cool pedal. I'm excited to see what I can do with it in the future. After that, I'm going into the RV5 Boss Digital Reverb. Pretty basic reverb pedal. One of the first pedals I ever got, and you know, it gets the job done. I keep it at the hall setting for live performances. I have the effects level about 2/3 of the way up. tone a little bit down and the time is the same place as the effects level. Just gives it a cool wash, you know, nothing crazy, but yeah, it's a good pedal. I'm definitely interested in finding other reverb pedals, but for what we do, it's been a great pedal and super reliable. After that, I head into my Overdrive pedals. This first one here is the T-Rex Mahler pedal. I absolutely love this thing. It has a drive channel and then it has a clean boost channel. And it also has a mix knob, so you can actually mix, you know, your clean channel with the drive channel, which I found to be super useful for getting clarity out of really drivey parts. I typically use this for something that's a little notier, that you'd want to stick out a little more, like the bridge in Not My Blood. I use it on the guitar part for that. So it's just, you know, it's a little more like... has a boost to it. Now after that I go into the Ibanez Tube Screamer. This is the TS9DX, so it has a couple extra settings on it that I don't use. I just use the straight TS9 setting. Absolutely basic overdrive pedal. Nothing wrong with it, nothing really super spectacular or flashy about it, but definitely works. After that, I hit the RE20. I've been using this primarily for delay just because of the tap tempo. The DL4 does have that, but if you turn off the effect, the tap goes away and you have to re-tap every time. So for the songs where I'm singing a lot, doing a lot of vocal stuff, it's kind of hard to remember to tap the tempo out or get it going again. So this is nice. You just set at the beginning of the song, turn it on and off whenever you're ready to use it. I don't use the reverb on this ever live, and except for To Those Who Fell, I use just the same first repeat setting, which is just a single repeat. Nothing too crazy, you know. Do have it hooked up to this thing, so for songs like Skyline, where I'm building up like a wall of noise heading into a part, it's kind of cool. You can just have the repeats go forever. If it's in a faster repeat, it'll build up quicker, and it's a cool way to kind of create movement in a song we're playing live without having to reach down and turn knobs, because again, I'm mostly tied to singing a lot of times, so it's kind of cool to be able to do that. And so after that I go into the DL4. Cool pedal because I have a bunch of presets in here, so I can do certain things with it. I have kind of like this is the walls delay. This is for Burn Us Alive. I kind of have this like delay that kind of basically does what I can do with the RE20 with the expression pedal, but just does it automatically and gets way crazier, and at the same time I can, you know, cut it off whenever I'm ready to go into the next part, which is really nice. And then C is just a standard digital delay, nothing too crazy. And I have used the loop sampler as well, notably for parts like heading into Bloom, but I'll show you in a second. I've recorded those into the loop station so I don't have to do them live. I have the Rat here at the end of the chain because basically I just use it to make gnarly noise, so it just distorts everything. Definitely one of my favorite pedals for sure. I have the volume turned on now, but I usually have the volume at 10, and I have the filter almost cranked too, which just gives it this insane sound. Use it in Skyline, the end of Not My Blood, and At Last the Loneliest of Them, stuff that's just absolutely like insane. It just gives us this crazy distortion sound. Bobo, that's the name. So lastly, I have the loop station from Boss. I've built in a bunch of loops into this for live, so we have for the beginning of Bloom, I can fade it in with a level knob, and you know, I have other loops in here for At Last the Loneliest of Them. I have the tremolo for that. I have some swells for a thing that would save you. And it's just cool for interludes. The other guys supplement that stuff with some performance pieces, which is cool. It's good for me because, again, if I need a sip of water or if I'm going to sing or say something in between songs, it's really nice to have the loops built into that so I can just play them back and not have to worry about performing the interludes per se. So that's pretty much my pedals as it stands right now. Yeah.